So we'd like to hear a concrete proposal coming from the executive as to the amount of the volume, as well what is the needed infrastructure to be able to do that. That's also one of the inputs that the speaker really wants, so that we have a clear idea, because obviously this is something that is obviously needed based on our recent experience.
Mr. Chair, just for a ballpark, we're preparing that. We're doing the papers now on how much it will cost and what are the infrastructure. But just to have an idea, we recently have 20 billion. We took was given by the DBM, no, as ordered by the president. 20 billion is but 1 million barrels is 12 billion pesos already. And that's 12 billion pesos is only good for 5 days. So ganun kalaki yung, as of today's prices though, no? Ganun kalaki yung requirement. So that's why it's also, and then even if we buy more, we don't have the facilities to store. So those are, we're preparing that para we can present it also in Congress. But we're still doing the feasibility and all the evaluation, Mr. Chair.
May we know that 15 billion? Did you say you spent 15 billion?
12 billion so far,
12
Mr.
billion
Chair.
to acquire the 2 million liters? Tama?
1 million pa lang, Mr. Chair.
What is the nature of that appropriation?
This is emergency funding that we got from DBM.
May we ask from DBM? Because the chairman of the Committee on Appropriation has been asking me what is the PAP that he has emanated from.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. This is a special account in the general fund. This is an automatic appropriation. Malampaya Gas Fund, the 20 billion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. We will have questions about that later. Congressman Garbin, please wrap up kindly.
Last question, Mr. Chair. Ito yung palaging tanong kahit ng aking mga constituents sa Bicol. In plain terms, Madam Secretary, why consumers are paying prices for a fuel that is already in storage? Is the Department of Energy affirming that the market uses a replacement accounting cost rather than a historic acquisition cost?
Yes, Mr. Chair. They're doing the replacement cost. Replacement cost, basically, pag nagbenta ka ngayon for 100 pesos, and then you sell it today, and then what you sell, you have to replace. So, ang presyo ngayon, yung accounting nila, para makabili sila ng replenishment for next. Kasi pag, halimbawa, 100 pesos yung cost na, pero yung papasingil mo lang sa kanila 50, kalahati lang ng kailangan ng bansa yung bibili nila. Because that's how it goes, the replacement cost. And so many other technical explanation. Pero yun yung accounting na ginagamit ng industry ever since. Since I started and I think my former boss started, it's always been a replacement cost, Mr. Chair.
So paano po pag like for example, with the declaration of a 2 weeks ceasefire, the Brent crude oil dropped from 110 to 95, if I'm not mistaken. Ganun rin ho ba yung basehan ngayon? I mean, kung gaano kabilis magtaas yung presyo sa pump, do we expect that if we say the replacement cost will be the basis, yung increase ba kahapon na 20 pesos ay maibabalik ba kaagad ngayong araw na ito, Madam Chair?
Mr. Chair, before it used to be once a month ang adjustment. I'm not sure what the history is. Tapos ginawang everyday. Tapos ngayon naging weekly siya. I think it's para pag 1 month kasi sobrang laki yung jump and every day magulo, nalilito yung tao. I think that was the explanation before. So now, at the time of Secretary Cusi, if I'm not mistaken, ginawang weekly yung adjustment. So pag compute mo yan, i-average mo from Monday to Friday, ang market, and then you get the calculation and the difference, baba or akyat siya, yun yung adjustment pagka Tuesday, Mr. Chair.
And that's why, Madam Chair, though we have this Oil Deregulation Act, it does not tie the hands of the DOE to continue monitoring the stocks, the inventory, and the pump prices. Kasi baka pagdating ng oras, tayo, yung consumers palagi yung lugi. And the oil companies has enjoying this windfall of profit in times of crisis. Salamat, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. We now call on the Honorable, while we were supposed to call on the Honorable Toby Tiangco, but he has graciously given way to the Honorable Rene Co. Rene, you have the floor. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And these are just quick questions. Before ako magsimula sa mga tanong ko, siguro gusto ko lang din simulan ng manifestation, and I think I speak for everyone when we say na we don't want war. We want this war to end. No? And gusto nating matigil na to, matigil yung mga economic consequences that are resultant no, of the continuing war. And I had a spike of anxiety yesterday dahil nagkaroon ng pronouncements si United States President Donald Trump no, that seemed like may pag-pursue ng escalation ng nangyayari sa gera. No, he said he wanted to quote unquote no, end a civilization tonight. No, bago magkaroon or bago maglapse yung deadline na Philippine time 9 a.m. April 8. Otherwise, kung hindi mag-agree yung Iran sa kanilang mga terms, ay they will bomb no, Iranian civilian infrastructure, which happened 13 hours before the lapse of the deadline. So, syempre, may resulting consequences yung gantong pronouncements, actions, not only in terms of the market, pero yung stability nung tinitignan ng buhay ng hindi lang ng mamamayan ng Iran, no, pero ng buong mundo, Philippines included, no. And syempre, we laud the efforts of paghahanap ng alternative sources of petroleum, no. Despite that, however, we haven't seen yung pagbaba ng presyo ng langis. Meron po ba, and I'd like to ask this question to the DFA, gusto rin po nating mag-gauge kung paano ginagamit and in-exercise ng Philippines yung kanyang diplomatic muscle. We have a long-standing relationship with the United States going back decades. No. Meron po bang nagaganap na pag-uusap sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at ng United States patungkol sa gera? Sa pagtutuloy nito, sa pagtitigil nito. Meron po bang ganon? I'd like to ask that question to the DFA, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, please, ma'am. Yusek.
Thank you. Yes po, the DFA has been very active individually and as chair of ASEAN this year in engaging to call for a cessation of hostilities and a return to normal. May ASEAN statements po na pinalabas under the leadership of Secretary Lazaro to call po for peace and for both parties to exercise to be more prudent and cautious in their actions. We also have directly supported the private sector and the DOE in engaging with not just the US but with other countries po to develop new sources of energy and also po for fertilizers. All our foreign service posts are actively engaging with their host government in this effort. Thank you po.
Mr. Chair, the question is meant to ask, are there any attempts at bilateral discussions with the Philippines and the United States? We understand that the DFA has statements, or the Philippines has statements, and also in its function as ASEAN Chair, pero meron po bang bilateral na pag-uusap, no? Even sa level ng pangungumbinsi na namatigil yung gera?
Kasali po ang pagdarasal pero patuloy po nating ini-engage ang US government on this effort.